Yeah,
Yeah.
hello Snigdha.
So, continuing from yesterday, we are going to talk about markdowns as planned.
Markdown, yes.
Yeah, because it's an important component of the OTB. So, it's good to touch base on how that's planned and worked out. What exactly does it mean? I think most of the people in retail know what markdowns are.
Yeah.
The customers would know it as sales, discounts, promotions, but in retail term, we call it markdown. And
Yeah.
then there's again um, plan a planning a plan that goes behind markdown. It's not just on a whim that retailers give away products and discount. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's the discussion today.
Yes. So, yeah, we can talk about different types of markdown. I just remember on the first day of, uh, I think almost the first week about retail, when people taught about what retail is. Um, in the college, the first week it was planned obsolescence was the first term that was introduced. The what is unique or what is retail? One of the key significant concept that happens in retail is planned obsolescence, which is basically uh,
That it becomes
season
obsolete.
after season, and
Yeah.
we have to mark down, and then we have to make something obsolete by
I
the end.
don't know. I don't remember this term because none of the retailers or brands that I work for, nobody in the industry knows this term, but I think it's an academic term.
Yeah, yeah. This was the first uh,
You've
Prasad
been the
sir had taught.
teacher. Yeah.
It's called planned obsolescence. The key feature of retail is planned obsolescence, which is that you plan the whole season to make it obsolete by the end of 6 months. So that's the whole. That's how you think that whatever that you're going to do should become obsolete by the 6 months, so that the next 6 months something new comes. So that is one of the characteristics of fashion retail. So there were some 6 7 points, but this was the first point. So I still remember planned obsolescence. It had stuck on into my head. I had some trauma with planned obsolescence also in between, but then
Why is that?
yeah, I have when I became like kind of had imbibed some communist concepts. I thought that plan obsolescence is like they're intentionally we are all making everybody make things obsolete so that uh,
New things can be bought.
we have to sell more. It's a,
Ah, yeah, yeah, yeah. So
yeah.
like all the idea of sustainability and fast fashion versus fast fashion.
Yeah,
That's the
sustainability is
question.
versus
Yeah.
fast fashion. So,
Yeah.
was the concept of planned obsolescence? But yeah, but now I feel that if we do not plan for obsolescence, then the business also becomes irrelevant with the things that's changing, especially in fashion retail, but also in other in technology and all of that. If say for example, if Apple doesn't works towards its own obsolescence of one model and releases another model, they will be taken out in the market, and that is going to be a bigger disaster, not just for the business but for the people who are the vendors and the employees. And I mean, BlackBerry went out of business, Nokia went out of business because they did not really work on this concept of planned obsolescence. And uh, iPhone is on the bleeding edge because on plus, and of course they have given a lot of stability to app makers, to technology, to taking the world forward. So now my worldview has become
Yeah.
okay. Otherwise, I wouldn't have even come for this podcast because I have a lot of trauma, lot of
Lots of
trauma,
trauma, past
trauma for
trauma.
these 6 points of
Yeah.
the characteristics of retail. I forgot the other 5 points, but then there are some planned
Okay.
obsolescence, and so the markdown comes under planned obsolescence because the markdown is one of the lever for planned obsolescence. You have to plan it and discount it and get things out of your shelves so that you can have something new, so that you do not become irrelevant in the market, because the market is moving very fast and people are moving very fast, and technology is also is happening. So one has to, I mean, just not in fashion. When I'm saying technology, in all the other fields also, it's very important. It's just not in fashion retail, but any retail, it's very important that planned obsolescence is a very important concept to be up to date and to take care of your company and your stakeholders.
Yeah, yeah, correct. I think
Mm.
maybe this planned obsolescence ties in with when we did the product assortment discussion. We did speak of co-merchandise. Some products are bought with the intention of it being just seasonal, and some are very quick, those fashion exclusive pieces. So whatever seasonal product you bring in and exclusivity you bring in, which is only
Mm.
meant to last a little while on the shop floor, the intention is to maybe tie it to a marketing advertisement or creating a brand presence. It's not just with the intention of sales. That's not the main intention. It's also to embed that brand image in the customer's mind. So at the end of the season, these are the planned ones which will go in. So when it gets fragmented, you're not buying the complete set to flow it into the next season, but you
Mm.
have to put it into markdowns. So there are certain items which are bought with that intention, but then there are certain ones which you might see that they were just disastrous and you have to put them into a markdown and
Mm.
then just cancel all future orders, even that.
Right.
Yeah. So I think if we just start from the place where we were discussing the assortment plan, usually like a merchandiser buyer would have some kind of an Excel tool where they're looking at everyday sales and all the important indicators that we spoke of. What is
Mhm.
the sell through looking at the end of the season? What is the rate of sales? What is the average weekly sales? And what is the leftover stock and what covers are they sitting on? All these are indicators. So as you trade your season week after week, you see that which lines are performing well, and then we've also, like, on those tools we've also tracked how many weeks this product has sat on the shop floor for.
That's
So
true.
some core lines would just stay there for the entire 6 months. Some season lines would live longer. Exclusive lines would be bought for 8 weeks or 12 weeks. They were like a very small buy, and they would get fragmented, which meant that once it's fragmented, you remove it from the shop floor and replace it with another collection.
Right.
And yeah, so that gives you an indication of what's doing well and what's not. And then you just look at the quantity and that you would be putting into markdown and the value of those products. Now, all this, the value has to match back to the planned markdown that you had put on the OTB.
Yeah.
And yeah, so that gives you an indication, like when you're trading the season, if you feel something is really sluggish, very extremely slow moving style, and you have too much inventory on it, so ideally, you will check your first action would be to see if there are any future orders, if they can be delayed or if they can be cancelled completely, and then make sure that you don't buy it again in the future. And then at the first opportunity of liquidating this style, you start liquidating it, which could mean you're promoting it on a weekend, on a peak selling weekend, or you put it into mid-season sale, like, which is a very common concept here in the UK, mid-season sale. Somewhere around, I think, March, we would have a mid-season sale. It wasn't that long. I think we would just have it for like a couple of weeks, and then the summer end of season sale would run for longer. And
Longer.
again, like in autumn, end of autumn, we would have a mid-season sale, and then we would have a longer end of season sale for Christmas. Yeah.
Yeah, it is there in, it is prevalent in India also. I don't know
Okay.
whether all brands follow it, but then there are certain retailers who follow the mid-season sale, and then they have their next drop happening after the mid-season sale and all of that. They do have.
Okay. Yeah.
They do follow it. Another thing is, one of the reasons why mid-season sale was also introduced, when you were saying, I remember, because there are a lot of broken size sets that happens, which
Yeah.
is like, again, we talked about this before, that the style will be there, the quantity is there, but the relevant sizes are not there in the at the retailer. So one of the things is that people kind of sometimes they consolidate the stock and put it in certain stores,
Yeah.
or they just consolidate all that stock wherever there is a broken size set, and they kind of do a mid-season sale so that whatever the extreme sizes also sells off, so they can clear the space and they can have a
Yeah.
second set. So as much as I remember, as you speaking, the that mid-season sales in India were very much for pushing away the broken sizes
Fragmented.
and introducing new styles,
Yeah.
uh,
Yeah.
giving some freshness to the store.
Yeah. So when we go back to core seasonal and exclusive lines or short-lived lines or fashion lines, whatever you term that, which is there for a shorter selling window, for the seasonal lines, though they are not meant to flow into the next season, they're only meant to live for 6 months. Usually, there might be like some additional orders that have drops later. So you know that there is like a point where it becomes fragmented, but you know there's an order placed for the next month, or in like a couple of weeks there's an order that's coming. So that means that you just prioritize that, where you have an option of bringing your orders forward, and that's what the OTB will throw at you. It will let you know that here you have OTB, which means bring your orders forward or place another order for these lines. But for exclusive lines or fashionable lines or whatever they are called, every retailer uses a different term. They, yes, once they're fragmented, there's no point. And again, like even on a slow mover, once it becomes fragmented and you know it's like it's moved very, very sluggishly, and this is not the rate of sales that we were expecting, and we will be left with too much inventory, then again, you probably cancel your future orders and you put it into the mid-season sale.
Yeah, I have. Yeah, so that's yeah, so that you can take quick actions and then you can buy
Yeah,
something which is relevant.
yeah.
So the
And
yeah.
yeah, one more thing that I remember is that the mid-season sale would not have the same depth of cut. The discounts offered were not that deep, but end of season sales would be like a 50% off. Sometimes
Yeah,
it would be higher. And then you
yeah,
plan it. Mid-season sale would just be like we are offering a 30% off and
yeah,
maybe
somewhere in
up
the
to 50. So a handful of styles would have
yeah,
a
the ones
50,
which
but
do
the
not do well at all will go at a
yeah.
50,
Yeah,
and
but the
then
total discount percent would be 30%, and
30%.
mid-season would, because it was a longer period of sale, we would have those plans that we start with 50 and then towards the end we take it up. And for the last weekend or last 4 or 5 days, we offer a deeper cut on certain products like 75%. So the total discount sits on 60 or 65%. I think those were the decisions that would be made when you're planning your end of season sale.
Yeah. So there is this mid-season also. I'm talking something different. I mean, because we're talking about discounts for perishable products also. Then it's not a mid-season, but then if it's say for example, by the end of the day, there are certain products that can be um, that
Yeah,
can go on a
yeah.
discount, or by the end of the week that they can go on a discount, like milk
Yes.
or anything if you're selling sandwiches or anything
Yeah.
in the
Yeah, in the UK, I think it's mostly they have this concept of meal deals. So they always offer like a promotion that if you pick up like a sandwich and a drink and something else, a fruit, like 3 items, then there's a certain amount that you only have to pay. And then by the end of the day, they usually come down. Yeah, there's always a discount because if you don't eat it that day, then there's no point. So yeah,
yeah,
all the meals and they get sold out. I don't think there's a lot of wastage because that's a very common concept and people expect that. Like at the end of the day, if something's available, people buy it. They know that at the end of the day there will be more
yeah. So
discounts.
there is this perishable products also. I mean, in fashion, the perishability, that's a word, is where if the if the
Yeah,
style goes out of trend, but then if real perishable products like food products, then you'll have to discount well
yeah,
before.
yeah, yeah. It's the same, I think. Like at the end of the day, some people might expect certain perishable items in a grocery store to be on discount, and in fashion retail, at the end of every season, they might think. At least here in the UK, all your winter items they go into sale, but the winter has moved a little forward. So January, February are also like cold months. So I think lots of people like wait on buying outerwear
Right.
and they buy it in the sales, yeah. Which does mean that you might miss out on your size. Maybe you don't get your size at all because
Right.
it's only on like fragmented pieces. There is not no extra inventory that is meant for sale.
Yeah. Yeah. You cannot
You're
get
you're
your favorite style or
yeah,
favorite
yeah,
size.
yeah.
Yeah.
So that risk you're taking, but the customers know like these are the timelines. This is when products are selling full price in stores, but the collections are new, all sizes are available, and towards the end of season, when the retailer goes on sale, you might or might not find your favorite style, but you're definitely like you would find some kind of a discount. So
Yeah.
that's expected. But yes, I think the timelines are different. When you look at even FMCG, I think some items, like beauty items, might have an expiry shelf date.
Yeah. But do they give a discount? I have never seen them. In
Yeah,
India,
even I
milk
haven't.
expiry date
No,
was
no,
very.
I have actually. Like, yeah, I have. I have seen discounts in Boots, which is a drugstore, and so they would have these tiny baskets, and they would have nail paints and lipsticks, everything for £1 or everything for £2, like a mix of their oldest inventory, maybe, which would like run out of the expiry date soon. So they would just have like little tubs, not many. That's the only thing that I can remember right now, but I'm sure. Like if you walk into a body shop or one of those brands, I don't think anything's discounted in that way.
Mm.
If they're bringing in a new collection to replace an existing one, maybe that's the only exception.
Hmm. That yeah. Another thing is that for discount, as you're mentioning, so as a visual merchandise, it's always like when you're doing a discount, you put it in a bin so that it kind of people have to bend down, pick it up, search their own thing. So they get the psychological thing that they've earned the discount rather than
Yeah.
keeping it in nicely on a wall or a
Yeah.
gondola. Of course, if it's a discounted product, so you don't keep it on a high selling place. Also, it's sometimes it's intentional that you put all the pieces in a bin and let people search and get the best deal for themselves. So that's
Yeah.
in terms of visual merchandising. Uh, uh, yeah, so people have this of putting
Yeah.
things in bin. Also, in terms
And
of mhm.
yeah. No, like just adding to what you just said, that sometimes like certain retailers would have one rail at the back end, like back of the store, where they would display, irrespective of whether it was mid-season sale or not. They would just have their ends of range, and they would have decided that we offer like 20% off on the ends of ranges, and they would let the stores do that because if you have your systems that show up the correct data, you could see what was sold at a discount and what was sold full price. So there would be like one rail, at least in the big retailers, where all the fragmented bits, like really fragmented bits, would hang together. So the customer walking in through the full price section would know that if I wander to the back of the store,
There would be
there is a rail on
discount
discount.
in the rail, yeah, discount
Yeah,
rate.
and but you again might find your size, might not find your size, but yeah,
Huh.
so
Makes
that
sense.
was like outside of the sale planning. It was a consequence of fragmentation
Yeah,
and nothing being available in the warehouse and nothing being on order
makes sense.
either. Yeah. So yeah, so those things. And then yeah, so if you maintain a tool, that Excel sheet where you're looking at your weekly sales, rate of sales, covers, week after week, Monday mornings, you're seeing what's happening there. Then that gives you an idea of what to do on your peak weeks, or the festivals, holidays, when you expect the sales to go up. So I'm trying to think like what's coming up here. um yeah, so there's like kids holiday. Usually we would not have offers or discounts. It would be mid-season sale, and then sometimes you would club it with, if Easter was a little early, we would club it with some Easter discounts.
Yeah, that's true.
So
Yes.
Easter is probably the first one festival,
In
and the
India,
retailers
uh,
are selling.
In Amazon and Flipkart, there is this big billion sale or big Great Indian Sale by Amazon. They kind of time it just before Diwali. So
Okay.
people who want to purchase for Diwali, they may end up purchasing on that big billion
Mm-hmm.
day sale and all of that. So sometimes, yeah, sale is also, and in the south there is this month. I think in Hindi it's called Shraddha or something. There's a month where you cannot
Shraddh,
purchase
yeah.
or you cannot have auspicious things happening. So the generally the sales goes down. People, it's not auspicious to purchase gold or something like that on that month. So in Tamil Nadu, that month they have the entire month has that's a sale month. So there are discounts where happens through
Okay.
yeah. So RD sale, they call it RD in Tamil. So that whole month there is a Shraj sale happens in Tamil Nadu, and it's very famous. And now people have automatically, I mean, the month that people was then they were not supposed to buy now has become the sale month, and a lot of people purchase during that month.
Okay. Okay. All right. I've never heard of that. Yeah. But yeah, like over here it's pretty much the same except for so it's Easter, then you have your mid-season sale, there's Easter, you might do a few offers for Women's Day, but like just a promotion on a line or maybe like an activity, a PR activity in the store or something online that products have a 20% off or something like that. We would do a promotion on certain lines. Same with Mother's Day, Father's Day, and then we would dive into end of season sale and November's Black Friday, which falls in on the last Friday of November. That has become big. Usually it was just 3 days,
Big in
last
it's
Friday,
that's
Saturday,
not in India
Sunday.
also.
Yeah, but I think
That's
now
big.
people actually like start talking about it. At least on the digital platforms, I see that Black Friday sales is almost here. Some have offer sales for close to 10 days now or
Yeah,
a week long sale at least. So you include 2 weekend sales, and then it's followed by Cyber Monday, where you have like the biggest discounts on electronics and those goods.
exactly.
Yeah, digital goods. And yeah, I think like second week of December, I think people are not buying full price because they know like the customer here expects a sale, they expect a discount. So you will see a fall in your full price sales. So this is like for again, like we've spoken so much, but there is always a distinction between an established retailer that has a good brand recall, people know about it and know what to expect. But I've also worked with newer brands where um, the focus is not the end of season sale. The products are more sustainable, so you know that there would be just a one-off discount because it's too fragmented and this color is going to go away. We're not going to continue with the color. And the depth of discount would also be 30%. So I think for startups, newer brands, they have to like consciously build that brand. Like that's what I've seen. Because
That's true.
once you start offering discounts when you're not even known, I think that's what you become known for.
Yeah.
And you barely sell any full price.
Right, yeah. So that had happened to in India. It had happened to Big Bazaar when Big Bazaar had started doing their sale. I think the Big Bazaar also called their sale something, the big something sale. Yeah,
Okay.
um, yeah. And then there used to be stampede. People break the windows, and police had to be called, and then you have to stand in a queue, and then they will let like in batches. They would like how it used to happen in COVID. They would let people in batches to go inside because once one of the times I think first couple of years they let everybody inside at the same time, and then people could not come out. They could not pay. It became like a big mess, and then that became like the branding for Big Bazaar over a period of time, and then people know when the sale is going to happen, and then they go stand in a queue, get their chance to go inside the store and buy and come back. So Big
Okay.
Bazaar, people used to really wait for the sale. By any which ways, it was a discount store, but
Yeah.
then they would discount steep. Only later did they announce saying that they were doing those discounts on
Excuse
loss.
me.
That was
Yeah.
one of the reasons why Big Bazaar the model started going into a loss and eventually went into a shutdown because they were discounting certain things at a loss just to, I think, for branding and acquiring customers, which was not a long-term strategy. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I think they were also competing with a lot of local retailers. You know, those mom and pop stores, and they're very convenient. So they are like usually closer to you. They position themselves that they are located in such localities which are closer to residential areas, convenient for people to just walk in. Sometimes, not sometimes, like mostly, we've been in a position to just give them a call and they would deliver at home
Yeah.
without charging anything extra, just out of, you know, you being
Service.
a loyal customer to them. Yeah, they would have like accounts like unheard of. None of nothing like that exists here in this country.
Oh,
But I remember like we would just tell them
no.
that put this on the bill and you would just collect the receipts and other whenever you would get a chance. Like we've done this in Bombay, Gurgaon, like Delhi, like all big cities would offer these mom and pop stores. So I think Big Bazaar was also probably competing with those.
With those, yes. In fact,
And
my first business idea, which I never could do, I just started and then left it half the way, was to because we found out that Big Bazaar was selling cheaper than the mom and pop stores. So what we thought was it was like a Swiggy idea. We thought that we will go to Big Bazaar. I mean, take the orders in the day, and then go to Big Bazaar, then purchase from Big Bazaar, and by evening we will do deliver to all of them, and still we would have profits. So it was on the paper, it was looking good, and then we were thinking of executing it, but then we could never. There was a lot of technology constraint that was there at that time. There were no smartphones, but then yes, that was one of my first business idea where I thought because I was selling few pesas less than any other mom and pop store across categories. So even
mhm.
if you get an order and deliver on a day-to-day basis, by the end of the month you will have like a decent margin.
Yeah. I think the whole idea of Big Bazaar was also that you shop in bulk. Um, so you buy
Yeah.
bigger quantities. You're not buying those tiny quantities that you would from a kirana store. Um, Maybe it's not similar, but there is this retailer called Costco where everything is like huge, big size.
Yeah.
So if you're buying toilet paper, you're not buying six, but you're buying like a big 20 pack or 30 pack giant pack, and everything is like big. And that's how I think they're able to offer it at a lesser
Yeah.
price. Yeah, at a not a discounted price, but yeah, it's a
At a
retail price for them, but like competitively, like when you compare it
better
with
price.
others, yeah, well, the prices are lower.
That's
And
true.
it works out because you're selling in bulk, so you're
In terms of discounts, I have there are these you a retailer can choose to give a discount. Say for example, this there is this classic case that would you give a 30% discount or would you do a buy one get three buy two get one
true.
free, right?
Yeah,
Which also is buy two get buy two get one free is also a 30% discount, right? Or would you do a buy one get one, or would you do a 50% off? What is that? What would you choose between buy one
yeah,
get one or a 50% off, right? So those were also questions that were asked, and those are the things that as a planner or a buyer, one has to make a choice that whether they're going to do a discount or whether they'll want to do a
yeah,
buy one
yeah,
get one in the
yeah,
markdown.
yeah.
Yeah, because
I think
one. Mhm.
yeah. No, I think it also comes back to whether you want to sell. Is it the total sales value that you're focusing on? If that is the case, you offer a 50% off. But if you also want to sell more items per bill, then you do the buy one, get one free.
Yeah.
So you're ensuring that they at least have two in their
Right.
basket. So that's more liquidating. But 50%, they could just buy one item and leave the store.
Yeah, that's true. And also in one of the brands, I'm smiling because They we had that if you buy one, there is you have to pay 100%. If you buy two, there's 20% off. Buy three, there's 30% off, and buy four, there was 40% off. So
Yeah.
we had
I
discounts like
think
why I
I'm
saw
just
it because
thinking,
there was
and I
one
shouldn't say this.
customer.
I'm saying that only Indians can do that sort of mathematics in a store. I
Yeah,
don't think we
I
can
had
expect customers. I've never seen that here. I've seen
happening.
that in India. What you're talking of, I've seen that in India, but never here. I don't think I've ever seen that kind of a discount. I don't think people will be able to understand what the discount is.
So there was one customer who said that if I buy 10, will you give everything for free?
I
Because
think maybe you should edit this part, me making fun of. But
yeah.
yeah, I think like maybe like yeah, you need to understand what exactly you're paying. I think how easy it is to assess that this is the discounted rate helps you make a decision quicker. I think if
Right.
we were to offer a discount like that here, I don't think it would help in a quick sale, a quick decision making. So I think they're whatever I've seen are very simple. That on a when you're promoting a line outside of your mid season and end of season sale window, it's like a 20%. A mid season sale would be like a 30%. And then end of season sale would be a half price on certain items. And then towards the end of season sale, which is like absolutely fragmented, damaged merchandise, like half torn, dirty stuff, then it goes up to like maybe 70, 75. They're steeper. But then the product that you're picking are also not in the best condition by then. So it's very simple here. Like that. That's the tier of discounts I've seen here. But yes, I remember doing that.
Yeah. Also, when I'm thinking about what should go on a 50% discount and what should be a buy one get one, so you have to understand usually your average ticket size by what is the price point that is the best selling price point, and if it's like kind of double the price point, let's say for example, if a store has like 100 rupee as their average selling price point, and if there is a style that is like for 3,000 rupees, then there is no point in doing a buy one get one and charging it 3,000, pay 3,000 and get two, because that's not their sweet spot in the price point. So
Yeah.
for a 3,000 you give a 50% discount and bring it close to the average price point. But if there's a merchandise which is at 1,000 rupees and you know
Yeah.
that your customer can pay that, they can afford your everyday customer can afford the 1,000 rupees, then you kind of do a buy one get one, because there's no point in asking them to pay only 50%, only 500 rupees, which is a 50% discount,
Yeah.
and when they actually can pay 1,000 rupees. So you try to understand your average ticket size, and anything is above, way above double or more your average ticket size, then you give the percentage
Yeah. Yeah.
discount. And when something is just closer or below, then you ask them to do a buy one get one. So that was also one of the ways
Yeah.
we decided which goes on a buy one and which goes on a
Yeah. Yeah.
percentage
And
discount.
sometimes I think it was also like if you're buying you buy three items and you get a certain discount, then it was if the third item is free, it would be that you pay the two most expensive ones and the cheapest one
Yeah,
becomes free.
the lower
Sometimes
cost
that
of the
also.
that was,
Yeah.
I think that's become now a very agreed term, that if you take three, then the most expensive, the out of three, the expensive ones will be billed and the lowest cost one will be given.
Yeah, and I think that's common. So
Yeah, that's
that's
been
again like I
now,
think yeah. So I think when you're
even
walking
customers
into
are
a
quite aware
retailer
about
during
it.
yeah.
Before you will have to actually tell them that no, we'll
Yeah, I
price.
think we've stood in stores and calculated like when we were in Bombay, I think it was 2008 when recession happened, and I remember that there were crazy discounts in stores. So we've like sat in stores and like calculated because there were crazy kinds of discounts being offered,
Right,
unheard of. But like a BOGOF, like buy one get one free. This is something common. Then
right.
this one, like pay two expensive items and the third one is free for you. That's also common. And then a neat, clean discount of 50% or 30% is easy to work on the retail price. And usually, like the carry tags, you don't have to calculate. Like
Right.
every item would have a price tag on it.
Another, the third type of discount is a flat price, right? Like I remember that when I was heading the brand in
Oh,
Chennai, because 30%, 20% was like a nightmare of a calculation at the tilling counter, and plus you will have to reconcile and all of that. It was too much. So what we did is we did a flat, like all
yeah, yeah,
trousers
yeah,
at this X price, like 500 or an 800, and all of this is 500. So it was easy for people to remember, and also it was quick at the at the cash counter to bill it and to give it to the customer. And also it was very easy for us to reconcile, because these categories where we kind of took certain categories and we gave like maximum two flat price. One, the expensive ones are like 800, the cheaper ones are 500 or something like that. I don't remember the exact amount, but
Yeah, yeah.
we did percentage discount, but it was operationally it was a nightmare. So for our convenience, not so much for the customer, we did a flat pricing.
Yeah, yeah. And I think even the items that I was talking of that are put into a bin, like at the drugstore, booths. So putting
Mhm.
all the nail paints and lipsticks. So it would be a mix of items, but everything would be priced at £3, let's say, or £4 or £5. So you just take your pick. But the retail price could have varied. Like it could be like a pound more or a pound less. But the bucket would be priced. So that was flat price. But in fashion retail, I'm trying to think, have we ever done flat pricing? We would tend to steer away from flat pricing of apparel unless it was a volume driving category like accessory, then we would offer a flat price. But on apparel,
This was
we
an apparel.
haven't.
I
Like
was
on,
talking about a fashion apparel only, but then we did a flat
okay,
price because we had closed down a store, and we
okay.
had the
To clear.
merchandise of that store.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
we brought it, and then we took
Okay,
a
yeah,
warehouse kind of a
yeah,
place, and then we did a
yeah.
flat price, and that hall is usually hired by retailers, and they sell flat price discount.
Ah, okay, okay, yeah,
But there
yeah,
are malls in India where there are like
yeah.
warehouse kind of a type of a place where they rent it out to apparel brands, where from time to time there is a flat price sale happens, or discount sale happens, whatever that is.
A
So we
discount
took a
sales, yeah.
hall in Chennai, in a prime place, and then we rented that place, and we ran a
Okay.
discount sale.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. So I think maybe those kinds of strategies, pricing strategies, were adopted in the outlet stores. So you would have like full price stores, but you would have an outlet store. Here in the UK, you have high street retailers, and then there are certain parks or mostly like parks. They're called those retail parks, which would have only outlet stores. So everything has to be the total discount in any store in an outlet store has to be 50%, and then you base your pricing strategy on that. So in that store there would be like a table which would be buy one get one free, a bin which would be like flat at 5, and then there would be like a 50% off, 75% off rails. So in an outlet store, yes, those are
Yeah,
the kinds of pricing
yeah.
strategy you would
There are
follow.
outlet
And
stores
then
in
people
India.
come with that expectation of finding it.
Hmm.
And discount sale, I think I have attended like a luxury handbags Mulberry. They would have a sample sale. It was called a sample sale, but nothing was flat price. It would be like, because luxury handbags seldom have a discount, so they would have like a
So in
5%,
India,
10%,
luxury
15%. But it
handbag
would
brand.
be called a sample
Mhm.
sale is what it was called.
In India, there was a luxury handbag brand, but they would have all the factory defects and like extremely old styles which cannot be sold on discount in their store. What's that called? Height Sign. Height Sign had their factory
Okay, okay,
outlet where like really old,
okay.
like 2 3 years old handbags
Styles.
which had never sold, and they cannot keep it in the store for any more discount. Then they push it, and then any factory defect issues, they push it to the factory outlets store, and they would sell those things at a flat discount on a factory outlet
Okay.
store. Hmm. So factory
Yeah,
outlet slightly. I mean, even if it doesn't sells for even a year, then maybe people put it on a even after two
yeah,
markdowns.
yeah,
If a merchandise has seen two markdowns and still it's not going
yeah,
out, then probably they'll find out another
yeah,
channel, which is like an outlet or
yeah,
something. I don't know.
yeah. I think the concept of factory outlet is very unique to India, where
Oh,
which is like a manufacturing country because it manufactures. I think nothing is produced here in the UK. So the concept of just outlet store where fragmented bits for XYZ reason you weren't able to like sell at full price in a full price store. So retailers, at least the one that I have worked for, had a retail an outlet store. It had
Hmm.
like a couple of outlet stores. So anything old season would just sit there and you would not be pressured into selling it. You would still make some money out of those.
Exactly.
And then yeah, in the liquidation strategy there would be like jobbers also, like who would come and take stuff from these outlets. So for 5,000, they would take like 5,000 pieces and they would just agree on a certain amount they were willing to pay.
Hmm.
And they were called jobbers. So that's like when you start looking into the liquidation strategy, these were the options at least here. And it's different in the countries, I guess. I think I don't know about Dubai, but maybe Dubai doesn't face as much issues in liquidating stocks. Do they have discount stores? What do they do?
They have discount. They have an outlet store. They also have an outlet
Ah,
store.
okay, okay. They have that concept. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, they do. Some
Okay.
brands.
Yeah. Okay. I think yeah, that's about it.
Yeah, we
So you're
mostly
like
cover.
watching your inventory all through the season, and then you have these windows and opportunities of promotions and sales, and then the actual planned ones are mid-season and end of season sale. And like we discussed that on the OTB, we've already agreed on a value. Sometimes it might be as per the value. Sometimes you have to take a deeper, you have to put additional value into it because a category did not perform. And then that helps you make a decision for the future buying. But yeah, this is mostly what markdown is. Yeah.
Sure. So yeah, we can meet on another topic another day. Maybe Monday we can catch up again
Yeah, let's
and
do
see what
that.
is pending.
Yeah. I think I was talking about the buying plan. I do not know. It's like
Yeah,
now
why?
to understand the buying plan, yeah, we could just talk of some of the indicators, but it's like very tool centric. It's a document where you do
We
your ratio analysis, you do your buying quantities, and you match it back to the OTB. And that's where
yeah.
you're planning like the window of the selling window for each and every style. And you're also deciding the assortment, the kind of stores it's going to go into. So we can just like we've spoken about all these concepts in separate sessions, but we can bring it all together and it can sit under a buying plan session.
We can do that.
Yeah.
We'll do that.
Okay.
Yeah.